and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute Easter basket. So stay tuned for the sewing tutorial. Hi and welcome to my tutorial on how to make an Easter basket. Here I've gone ahead and cut out my fabric and my feasible webbing. So I'm just going to go through that with you first. This is the fabric that I'm going to be using for the outside of the basket. This is cut with 15 inches by 18 inches, and then I went ahead and cut the feasible webbing, and this is a heavy duty feasible webbing, the same size. This is the strap that we're going to have on the basket, and I also used the same fabric as the outer part. And this is 6 inches by 18 inches. And again, some fusible webbing. And then there is a piece here that is going to be the inside of the basket. This is actually 16 inches by 19 inches. And the fusible webbing is again the same size. And the reason for this being a little bit bigger is because I am also going to be quilting the inside. And I'm going to be using some batting as well. So I have this the same size, the 16 inches by 19 inches, because I am going to be, like I said, quilting the inside so it's a little bit softer. The next step in making the Easter basket is that you actually need to take the fusible webbing and the material, and you're going to actually iron this onto the wrong side of the material. So you're going to be doing that with all of your fabric. So you have the 3 different pieces. Okay, now I have the 3 pieces with the fusible webbing on the other side. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this outside piece and you're going to fold it in half. And then this way now it is 15 by 9 inches. And you are going to crease it down just a little bit with your hand, and you're going to put pins on both sides. What you're going to do is you're going to sew it within a 1/2 inch seam line all the way down on both sides. Now we have the fabric sewn on both sides. And so what you're going to do is you're going to kind of take this side here and you're going to just fold this part in, because what you want to do is you want to separate the seam, and then you're going to iron it down. So you want to take this over to your iron and iron this open. Okay, and next, after I went ahead and I ironed it, I'm going to measure up from the very tip here, 2.5 inches. And I'm just going to mark it with my pencil here. This is where I'm going to sew. And it's actually going to be from one end to the other, it's going to be 5 inches. So I can go ahead and draw that line just to make sure that it's straight. And then I am going to just sew straight along that line. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. I'll iron it, I'll flatten it, I'll measure, and I'll sew. Okay, now that you've taken the outer fabric and you've measured and sewn on both sides, it kind of looks a little bit like a basket. It's getting there. So this is done for now. And what you want to do next is grab the inside fabric along with your batting. And what I like to do, like I said, I like to quilt it. And normally with quilting, you can do it a lot of different ways. You can do different designs all along. It depends on how you want to do it. But for me, I generally just do lines across, and then I go back through, and then I do the other lines. And normally I would use something like this to measure, or, you know, and it makes it so much easier to draw lines. But what I really love about this fabric is that I can just go down the lines that are already there. So it's fantastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking my batting and my pins, and I am just going to pin the batting in place. This is soft, it's like a comforter. So it'll be a nice base for the basket. But I'm going to just pin it all along just so it doesn't move. And then I'm gonna go through and just maybe sew every other line or something. It depends on how you want to quilt it. You don't have to quilt it, but I think it makes it a little bit more secure and sturdy as a basket if you have this extra material. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. So that might take a little bit of time just to go through and do random lines all the way down and across and then back the other way. So I went ahead and I just did some back forth quilting. As you can see, I just did it in lines, and I tried to stay along the lines of where the white was, so you really can't even see so much the thread. But it doesn't really matter because it's going to be on the inside. Again, remember that you cut this a bit bigger than the other piece. It was 16 by 19 instead of 15 by 18. So you want to go ahead and actually trim it so it is now 15 by 18. Next, you want to take the inner line fabric and you want to fold it over, and we're actually going to sew it just like we did the other one. So you'll want to put some pins in here along the sides, and then you'll want to sew just along here. Okay, that was all done, and remember it was a 1/2 inch seam line. So what you're going to do again is open it up and then fold it down, and then remember to separate the seam. You'll iron it, and then again we're going to measure 2.5 inches from the bottom. We're going to draw our line and sew. Again, you want to do that with both sides. So don't forget to iron this down first. Next, we're going to work on the strap. So what you need to do is fold the strap in half and just press with your hand. It's nice and firm because of the fusible webbing. Then what you're going to do is fold in to this middle crease that you just made and go all along like so. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. And I would actually recommend taking this to the iron and making it a little bit flatter. So I went ahead and I pressed it with my iron. I folded the edges both into the center, and then I pressed it again flat. Then what you want to do is you want to sew it all along this outer edge, very close to the edge, and then again the same thing over here on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew right down the middle as well. You don't need to worry about the ends because those are going to be hidden inside the basket. Okay, just to recap, so we have the inside of the bag, we have the outside of the bag, and we have the handle that has the stitching on the top, the bottom, and in the middle. So what you're going to do now is you're going to just trim the sides. You're going to take about 1 inch off of each side of the handle, and then we're going to assemble. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to find the center of the side here, and you can use your ruler to measure if you want. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to put the handle, we're going to pin it to the side. So the direct center will be the direct center, obviously, of your handle. Then you'll just pin it in place here and then also on the other side. Now I went ahead and I found the center and I attached the ribbon with the ends of the ribbon sticking out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to stitch along here and along here to attach the handle. Now we are going to work on assembling since we have the strap sewn into place. So once this is flipped out, we are actually going to be putting it inside the lining. You see there, nice little basket forming. We're going to put this inside the lining. And we are going to pin all along the top. So you'll have to smooth out the wrinkles here. So what you'll want to do is just make sure everything is lined up appropriately. Top parts all along, and then you'll pin. So as you can see, I've started to put the pins in to make sure that this does not move. You want to put the pins in all the way around. It might be kind of bunched up in here, but that's fine. The only thing that's important is the top part being flush with each other. So again, it's right sides together. Now I have pins all along the top. So what I'm going to do now again is I'm going to find one of the handles and I'm going to start just before it, and I'm going to sew down about a 1/2 inch seam and all along until I get to be just a little past this corner. So I'm going to leave this part leading up to the handle completely open. Now I have finished sewing along and I'm going to take out all the pins, and then I'm going to find that space where I didn't sew and I'm going to flip out the basket. So once you've pulled through, then you want to make sure that you're stuffing your inside fabric into the basket. And this is what it looks like when it is all done. It's very cute. You still have an opening here, so what you'll want to do is fold it under on both sides, fold the fabric under, and you'll want to pin it. And then you're going to want to sew top stitch here. But just to make sure that it is nice and secure all the way around, we're going to just top stitch all the way around. Or you can also take this over to your iron and you can press it down just to make sure that it's all nice and flat. So it'll make sewing much easier. So that's really the last step. So once your basket has been top stitched, it's ready to go. It's such a cute little basket and I love the pattern. The inside is quite large if you ask me. Now your Easter basket is all ready to fill up with some goodies for Easter. It also can be used if you're going to an Easter egg hunt. It's so easy and lightweight, and it can also be thrown in the washing machine if you need to. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this tutorial, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to my channel where you can get more sewing tutorials for things for kids and for babies. I'm really glad that you stopped by, and I hope you have a fantastic Easter. Take care.